traveling to Roatan, Honduras. My favorite things to do with my children as a 15-year resident of this beautiful country. My children are 6 and 8. I know they used to be younger. So traveling with little children, that can always be a challenge. If you are traveling with very young children, I would secure a crib or a pack and play or something of that nature. Those are kind of hard to find on the island. I used to have one that I lent out, and well, I don't know what happened to it, but that's been many, many years since, the stroller days and the pack and play days. But with children, so my children are now 6 and 8, their favorite things to do is, well, anything around the ocean. They love going to the beaches. They love West End. Half Moon Bay is their personal favorite, but that's also because there's a lot of kids that play at Sundowners Beach Bar, or that a lot of kids play in Half Moon Bay on the weekends. So, well, Friday afternoon, the kids have half days. So Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday afternoon, you're gonna have a lot of kids from infant to, you get maybe like the 12, 13-year-old kids playing football, soccer on the beach, which is a lot of fun. It's nice to make sure you don't get knocked in the head with a football, but little things, and it's a lot of fun. That's my kids' favorite thing. They like, and it's mostly because of all the kids, they make friends, so everybody's always very kind and they make a lot of friends. Our personal favorite is Sundowners Beach Bar, where also a lot of adults come and float and listen to reggae music and just have a great time. Probably their second favorite, well, actually, I don't know, their favorites change all the time. They have also become super fans of Roatan Island Brewery, which is kind of mid-island. Especially on the weekends, or when they do on Sundays, they do a craft market once a month. My kids love to see all the jewelry, all the homemade crafts. They are super fans of soap, which, you know what? The fact that they want to clean themselves, anyway, it makes me very, very happy that they're into cleanliness. So they buy soaps whenever at the market once a month when we go. Also great food, amazing beers, nice rotating selection. I've recently been drinking their seltzers or some of their like half cider, half kombuchas, or they have a lot of things that are nice, and it's not just all alcohol. They have a lot of nice non-alcoholic or low alcohol options, which is great. Then they also have the high gravities, the 7% or so. But let's be responsible with children, and I'm mostly just talking to myself. They do have a lot of other non-alcoholic or like very low alcohol options that are fun. Well, I'm enjoying these, and coming from Colorado, I'm used to those high gravity, so I like the other options where it's, you can hang out for more than an hour or two if you're not drinking 7% beers in the afternoon. So I digress. So West Bay is also a crowd favorite. My kids have been going there a lot less as of late, and a lot of that has to do with just it's crowded. It's more crowded with adults versus children. With Half Moon Bay, it's crowded, yes, but it's kids, and so it's a lot different than West Bay, which tends to be a lot more adults, and then you have the families. During the week you have a lot of cruise ships, so it's busy and can be hard to get something in the shade, or I have to always look for the shade. But they love the beach, they love the snorkeling. That's some of my favorite places for diving on the island. It is kind of busy, so make sure if you are going out into the water, you go into the protected areas or in the swim zones. It's just, there's a lot of activity, and it always, as a parent, it always makes me nervous with all, people on jet skis and things that they might not be used to, and especially after 4 pina coladas that are delightful on vacation. But West Bay is always a big crowd pleaser. My kids also like to go to the cays. There's several cays on the island that you can go to. Their personal favorite, which is also my favorite because it is the cheapest and I think it's the best and the well priced, and it's just, I like it, is Bradys Key over in Fringe Cay. It's on the south side of the island, and my kids like it because, I like it because we can go over for a fee that turns into a bar tab. So it's not like you're paying an entrance fee and then you're paying for this and then you have to have this. There's not a bunch of criteria, and there's like, I don't even know how much I just spent. It's nice, it's simple pricing. It's just, hey, $25 for an adult, or give or take, and then about $13 to $15 for a kid, which we always end up spending more than that because we end up staying there like 6 to 8 hours. So we have multiple meals, we're staying there the whole day because we can go kayaking, we can go swimming, we can go snorkeling, just play on the beach. There's nice hammocks to kind of relax in. Then they also have like the little bouncy bouncy house things that are on the water that they do not charge, or at the time we're not charging an additional fee for that. They were just, it was part of your admission. Now there are other Ks around the island. They're gonna cost you a lot more, and then nothing's included. And then when you see the prices, you're like, whoo, that's pricey. But they are all a lot of fun, and it's some of the most beautiful places I've ever been. Even when I go to other islands, I'm like, why am I going to other islands when this stuff is my backyard? Actually, I should point that way, because that way is the ocean. So, and then some other things that my kids like. So if we are over in West End, we like the Roatan Farm Park, which is kind of a petting zoo, but it's more of like I like the ones that are, the intent is for the animals and the well needs of the animals there, instead of the needs of tourists that want to take photos. And I mean nothing disrespectful about any of them. It's just, you know, sometimes sloths don't want to be held. But if they want to reach their hand out to you, like that's, you know, that's consent maybe a little bit. I don't know. Well, that's a whole nother topic right there. But I like Roatan Farm Park. They do have a sloth. You are not allowed to hold that one, but you are allowed to feed it. And if it chooses to hang out with you, then, you know, you get to hang out with the sloth and watch it go like this. And it loves the hibiscus flowers, which are some of my favorite too, just not to eat maybe. So they also like Gumbalimba Park, which is on the way in between West End and West Bay, right before you get to West Bay. They have monkeys, they have iguanas, they have a nice, they've got bats in a cave. They had a nice little history of Roatan and the pirate lure, which is my 6-year-old, my little boy, is super into pirates right now, and I keep telling him all these stories and legends of pirates. It's probably 75% made up by me, 25% about it I hear about the island, and so it's really just legends at this point. But Gumbalimba Park that's my base pirate lure comes from Gumbalimba Park, and then it also comes to, well, actually that way. I'll get my directions right at some point. Over on the east side of the island, on the south side, you have the mangroves, the Mangrove Tours, you have Port Royal, Oak Ridge, where those are the Mangrove Tours, they were passed from the pirates, and so you get a lot of pirate lure here, and you can see some secluded bays where ships were hiding buried treasure and whatnot, and hiding from other pirates. So we do have a lot of pirate lure and Roatan, which, well, what adult doesn't like pirate lure and thinking that there's buried treasure on the island, especially, well, who doesn't like for a good treasure hunt? So that's a lot of fun. The Mangrove Tours, there's lots of different ones all on the south side. But if you're looking for that Oak Ridge area, Port Royal, Oak Ridge is probably, Jonesville is probably going to be the best. And then there's lots of restaurants and some things to do around there as well. And then my kids also, which I almost forgot about, they just like going out on a boat. They think it's awesome. So some days where I'm just like, guys, I do not have the time to arrange for a boat. I don't have a time to do something. We just get on a water taxi. And we might just go from West End to West Bay, or West Bay to West End. Or I can say, hey, you know, can I give you a little extra and can you take us back and forth? Just, you know, the kids just want to ride on a boat. And that's like a 20 to 30 minute ride. Sometimes that gets it out of their system. That's all they wanted to do. And so it's win in my book, because I was like, oh, we just went from West End over to West Bay and right back. We didn't actually even get out and do anything, but the kids got to get out on the boat. My kids also like the fishing. You can get, now you can do the nice deep sea fishing with the big boats. You can also just do some more local fishing with a single line, smaller boat, almost like a water taxi, a lot cheaper. Obviously, if you're an adult, if you want to actually catch big stuff, it's better to go on the big boats with 2 engines and things like that in case one doesn't work and who wants to get stuck in the ocean. But if you do, like my kids, they just like getting on the darn boat. Or we go over to Coconut Tree a lot, which is one of the dive shops in West End, because we can just kind of hop on one of the dive boats when they do have room, and the kids just want to snorkel, but they like the fact that they're going out onto a boat. It's something that's super special, even though the boat ride's only like 10 minutes. They just think that's ultra special, and well, and it's easy for me because I don't really have to plan it, and it's just like, oh geez, what are we gonna do today? And if they don't want to go to, you know, Half Moon Bay or something, getting on a boat. So there is lots to do. There's also a golf course over in Pristine Bay that also has pickleball, tennis, that does a lot of the lessons for the kids. do have like kid lessons. They have a driving range, a 2-story driving range that goes into a protected area of water with, you know, all the eco-friendly things that you need for that, which is a lot of fun. The kids really like it. It's not always as hot. My kids don't do well. They just don't have the patience for golf, and then I'm hot. So that's what we do there. What's also nice if you're here for a little while, or I try to get my kids to see the dolphins over at AKR. They do that about every other year, or they do camps sometimes that are a lot of fun, but the kids try to go out and see the dolphins. They've swam with the dolphins, they've snorkeled with the dolphins, they've just kind of looked in awe at the dolphins depending on their age. Now they're just like, they jump right on in, no fear at all. The first time they were just kind of like, well, the first time I did it was when my son was an infant, my daughter was 2. Liam didn't care at the time. Ella thought it was like the coolest thing, but she would not get in the water. So something to think about if you do have young kids. They do have lots of options over at Anthony's Key Resort with the dolphins. So it's, well, I like having the options, especially, well, and they cost different amounts. And I know I don't want to pay for a huge package if my child is just going to be like, nope, I'm not getting in the water today. I'm going to stay right over here. So that is kind of a overview of all the things that we like to do on the island. There are, you know, zip lining. I've actually never taken my kids on zip lines, and we do kind of, just by nature of living here, we don't do too many of the super high impact or the high tourist items, but the zip lines, they're a lot of fun. My children don't really like heights, so we have not done those things, but they just prefer more of the water activities. So thank you all for tuning in. If you ever have any questions, my door is always open.